Pokemon Generation 10 just got a plethora of information, or should we call it Pokemon Winds and Waves. Now if you take a look at this right here, this was the original map design or a sketch of the map. And lo and behold, this was actually potentially true because this is what the actual map should look like. So as you can see here, you got your volcano in the middle, you got a desert little island on the side, and then you have an ice island on the top. But also, if you take a look at this picture right here, it looked like we had a city and a runway. Well, this is actually in the bottom of the map and looks like this is going to be the starting town. Now this, who knows, there's going to be a plane and it's going to fly in and you start off your adventure. It looks like a runway to me, but of course that could be completely false because right now it's just speculation. Now of course, Pokemon always uses location from real world places. So if you look at this right here, you can see the Pokemon map and a real world location. It looks like the game is going to be placed in Southern Asia, which is a really cool thing to be said, and I think it's going to be great. Now also, Pokemon take inspiration from real animals. And right now, it looks like we are going to be seeing a red panda, or a fire type red panda. I think that right there is honestly the best. A water type Dugong, and a flying lizard. Now who knows if this is going to be the starter Pokemon, or if this is just going to be Pokemon that you can catch. Now speaking of Pokemon that you can catch, the different Pokemons, the ways that you catch those are going to be really cool and honestly better than Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So instead of going to that one region and you can't catch the Pokemon because it's level 50, it's level 60, whatever the case may be, it looks like on the shoreline of the different islands, there's going to be weaker Pokemon. So you can go to the Ice Island, you can go ahead and catch yourself an Ice type Pokemon, but as you go farther and farther into the island, that's when Pokemon start to go more powerful and you aren't going to be able to catch it. It's going to be a rough time. Now, your Pokemon are actually going to give off life or different effects. Now, if you look at a Charizard, for example, a Charizard has a flame on its tail. And it looks like when you go and explore caves or somewhere that is really dark, instead of using something like Flash, you can just use your Charizard and it gives off light. So overall, that is really cool. Same thing said for actually being underwater. So if you have a Pokemon that gives off light underwater, you will be able to just see underwater without having some sort of special underwater move that allows you to light up the surface. So that is honestly the coolest thing. And if you remember the scooter leak, we are going to be towed by a scooter, but this right here looks like how it's actually going to be placed. So if you look at this right here, you can see that there is a Charizard and it's sort of pulling the person behind it. So that's really interesting. That's how the scooter mechanic is going to work. I still wish that it was something different than that, that you can actually ride the Charizard, but they just couldn't figure that out. So now you're getting pulled with a scooter. You also have the city location, a city biome. That's probably going to be the place that you start the adventure off, or it might be something like Lumio City. You start in a little town and then you make your way to a bigger island, which is going to be essentially Lumio City, where you make your way to the bigger island, you got a bigger city. Overall, it's really interesting to see that maybe coming true. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention about Pokemon Generation 10 is Pokemon Centers. Now, Pokemon Centers are going to be returning, and this right here is great. You got your Pokemon Center, you got your Buy Item Center. Overall, it looks like it's going to be a bar in Hawaii. Anyways, this is honestly the coolest thing. And I like the environment, the structural environment of the little island. This seems to be a massive island. And speaking of massive island, this game seems like it's going to be procedural generated. Now, I don't know if you take this as an actually good thing or maybe a bad thing, but this means that the game could actually be bigger than we anticipated. Now, I know I said that pretty wrong, but hear me out. So if you look at a game like No Man's Sky, that game had quadrillion planets. It looks like just maybe we could see something like that. Every single island is going to be a big life-size island. If it's procedural generated, that means they're using AI. So do you rather have a smaller map with no AI, or would you rather have a giant map with AI use? Who knows? It's a very interesting question because I really don't like the sound of using AI for Pokemon games, but at this point, who knows? Anyways, what do you think about all of these things? Do you think that Pokemon Generation 10 is looking cool? Oh yeah, I wanted to mention, Pokemon will actually have weather move. Now, weather moves are very interesting. So let's just say you have a Pikachu. You will be able to use the Pikachu, and if it's the thunder shocks outside or thunderstorm, if you use thunder shock, the Pokemon's going to do more damage. So that's essentially what that means. So overall, it's going to be a very, very interesting thing. What do you think about this? Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. And with that being said, see you in the next one.